Ozzy Osbourne, founding father of British heavy metal, the frontman for Black Sabbath, and a reality TV luminary, has died after a years-long struggle with Parkinson's disease.
Mama, I'm coming home.
Let me see your hands in the air. Come on, put some lights on these people.
Ozzy meant so much to millions and millions of fans. The eulogy for Ozzy should be written by the fans. He invented himself.
'Cause mama, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Hey, what's up? Chris Redbeard Videos, and we're about to launch into a quick takes video, but before we do that, I know this format's a little off. I just want to point out something. When I recorded this video, it was very late at night. It was after I had just spent 9 hours watching an entire metal festival, and I'm on heavy pain medications. So by that time of night, I was kind of rambly, and you might hear a difference in my speech patterns. So if that's the case, I just want to excuse that. I do still think it's a good video, and I'm still very proud of it, but I just wanted to throw that in there. And you may see me periodically pop up like this throughout the video if I forgot to emphasize a point, because if you've ever been high on anything, either it be edibles, muscle relaxers, pain relievers, drunk, what have you, you know that sometimes you just get rambly and you lose your point. So I don't think I lost the point really here at all after watching it a few times, but I do want to throw some emphasis here and there probably. So without further ado, here I am. So there's a new holiday in town, and it's going to be called Heavy Metal Day going forward. Hey, what's happening? It's Chris Redbeard Videos, and I'm here with a very quick take, hopefully, because the edible is taking hold. And coupled with the pain medications, it gets a little weird. I'm like a me-seeks. It's getting weird. I just sat through an entire day's worth of history. I feel like it was a celebratory history of the genre of heavy metal, okay? So I don't often get a Saturday where I get to sit around and just like spend an entire day doing much of nothing. And due to health problems that I will not go into, it's been a very rough 4 to 6 weeks. And I can honestly tell you that the last 12 hours since the time I woke up this morning, well, actually it's been 14 hours since I woke up this morning, and right now have been probably the best I have felt in the better part of 6 weeks. Why, you ask? Because today I forgot, in my heavily medicated state, that today was the Black Sabbath finale, Ozzy Osbourne celebration, back to the beginning festival thing in Birmingham, England. And so I had purchased a pay-per-view ticket type of thing, and lo and behold, I was able to watch it. Like, I was able to spend the entire day watching it. So that was awesome. So the reason why I think this is a very, very historic day that should go down in history, like in the lore of Live Aid and Funeral for a Friend and things of that nature, Woodstock, one of the more current Woodstocks, not compared to Live Aid either. I think Live Aid and Woodstock 69 are their own thing, and then I think there are like lesser ones like the US Festival, and any kind of festival that's current now is kind of its own thing. Like any festival I think that's happened over the past 5 years at least, since COVID. Yeah, I would say since COVID. Any festival that's happened since COVID is not that important. There haven't been very many that have been very important, meaning historic, like that are going to make you go, hey, remember Like, you can't say, like, hey, remember Coachella? You have to, like, pick out something specific. You can say that for Woodstock, sort of, because they each had, like, Woodstock 60. Yeah, Woodstock. If anybody just goes, hey, remember Woodstock? Very few people are going to go, which one? If you just say Woodstock, usually people will know what you're talking about and that you're talking about the OG. If you're talking about it, like if you're with a friend who is at like Woodstock 94 with you and you go, hey dude, remember Woodstock? Like they're going to know what you're talking about. But I'm talking about the mass, masses, the people at large. If you say, oh dude, remember Woodstock? Like people are going to go, Hendrix and the Who and the whole thing, like Woodstock, So you can get away with that Woodstock because it's part of the title. Woodstock 99, Woodstock 94, Woodstock, it's part of the title. But like if I say, hey dude, remember Aftershock? I mean, I've been to like 4 Aftershocks. I've been to 4 Sonic Temples, 2 Rock on the Ranges, 2 Chicago Open Airs, and I've been to many festivals at this point. I've been to a few Ross Fests, and so festivals don't really mean a lot. Monsters of Rock, like you can't be like, remember Monsters of Rock? I mean, that's been going on for decades. I didn't mention here the Monsters of Rock festival as if it wasn't a big deal, and what I was referring to was the Castle Donington or the England or the European version, because I feel like they have at least one Monsters of Rock every year, if not several in different countries. What I will say, though, the exception to this is that there was one in 1988 that happened here in the New York City area in New Jersey at Giant Stadium that my brother went to. And I remember it was a big, big deal. I was like 11 years old. I didn't get to go, but I remember it was a gigantic deal. Like it was all they talked about on the radio, and it was all they talked about on MTV, and it was all we talked about locally. So just from personal experience, I wanted to add in that little addendum about Monsters of Rock being a major festival that did happen here on American soil historically, in my eyes anyway. And now, back to the show. So I'd say the last 5 to 10 years, there haven't been very many festivals that make me go, oh my God. Like I paid pay-per-view for this because I saw the lineup and I was like, Metallica and Gojira and Alice in Chains and Pantera and Tool and Slayer and Mastodon and Anthrax, and Lamb of God, and just it goes on and on. And then don't even get me started like on the supergroups. In the supergroups, like the first one, they had Nuno Bettencourt, Mike Borden, Dave Ellefson from Megadeth, Lizzie Hale, Jakey Lee, Adam Wakeman. So these are all, Dave Draymond was part of that. Who else was part of that? Scott Ian came on stage for that. Whitfield Crane. They dug Whitfield Crane up from like Ugly Kid Joe fame. One of the Sleep Token guys, Young Blood. The lineup, and then it goes even further. Danny Carey was around for several things. Billy Corgan, KK Downey, Adam Jones, Tom Morello, Rudy Sarzo, Sammy Hagar, Vernon Reed. And then like Steven Tyler came out. And Steven Tyler, like, for all the horrific things that I've heard about him in terms of his health and the way that he has looked or been or health-wise, I have my own personal, like squabbles with Steven Tyler and my own, like, dealing with him as a singer. As a person, but as a performer. What the fuck? Shh. What the fuck? I have my own personal squabbles with one Steven Tyler when it comes to like a personal thing. But when it comes to like performance, the guy was spot on. Holy shit.
Sweet little woman, get along. Oh, your way, get along. Sweet little woman, get along. Oh, your way, my key. When it hurt, and just couldn't tell.
And he's like 100. Like, the dude's old, man, and he doesn't look that old. I don't know I don't know if he's drinking baby blood or whatever the rumors are, but like, hey, have at it, dude. Jeez. He came on and they did a whole lot of love. Led Zeppelin song. It was him, Nuno Bettencourt, Tom Morello, Rudy Sarzo, Chad Smith. I mean, goddamn, like what an awesome like band that is. Steven Tyler in his prime. I mean, he still sounded amazing. I was very impressed with Mr. Steven Tyler. Pantera was great. I mean, they were okay, and they weren't amazing. And I'm still mad at Pantera, so I don't want to get into it because this is a day of celebration. So I don't want to talk about what I'm pissed at. But I will get into something I'm pissed at before I get into the beautiful thing. Because there was something incredibly beautiful that happened during this show, which kind of choked me up. Brought me to kind of, not to tears, but it made me like, wow, and no, it wasn't Slayer playing because, my God, like what? Everything was perfect until Slayer came on. Fred Durst did Change. He did a pre-recorded thing and he did an acoustic version of Changes. And the Fred Durst thing just gets to be too funny because I just recently saw a performance, like a video of them opening for Metallica, and goddamn, like they had some energy and they were killing. And then I see this and like, not that he sounded bad. I mean, he sang okay, I guess. But like, it's 2025. You have full gray hair. It's been 30 years since your prime, dude. Spin the hat around. Stop with the backwards hat. I find it ironic that he sang a song called Changes and he was wearing clothes or doing the style since 1995. I find that fascinating. It's one of the funniest things you can ever say. He sang a song about changes and hasn't changed a bit. Fred Durst, the gift that just keeps giving. Guns N' Roses, look, they played like 3 songs in a row to open their set that I had no idea what they were playing. And not that like I'm a Guns N' Roses fan. Right? Like I'm not a GNR guy. I'm not like a, dyed in the wool appetite for destruction, welcome to the jungle type of guy. But like I know the entirety of Appetite for Destruction. I loved Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. I was a fan back in the day. I haven't seen them since they've come around on this bullshit. I think Chinese Democracy is a highly underrated album. I think it shouldn't be called Guns N' Roses. It should just be called. The edible's kicking in. It should just be called like an Axl Rose, or pick a new band name, or Axl Rose solo, or whatever the fuck. Because it's not a bad album. Like there are tons of Guns N' Roses songs to choose from, even ones that were like hits, but like video hits, not like all timers. Like they could have come out and done Right Next Door to Hell. And that wouldn't have been like a sellout Sweet Child. I mean, thank God we didn't hear Sweet Child of Mine. It's bad enough I had to hear Welcome to the Jungle and Paradise City. But credit where it's due. Guns N' Roses did do a fucking ripping version of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. And Axl Rose actually pulled it off fairly well. I mean, he didn't sing terribly on this. I'm not here to review. Like I said, this is a celebration. And that's what it felt like. It didn't feel corporate, even though like I had to pay for a ticket to get to the pay-per-view. It was like $30. It wasn't a lot. And I felt it was worth it. I got a full day's worth of awesome music and awesome musicians. But here's where it got annoying. Now, after a few hours and a weed edible later, I got to thinking about it, and I'm probably wrong for this take, but I'm going to have this take anyway. It didn't feel corporate until, okay. So I was live streaming this on my TikTok, okay? So I picked it up around the Supergroup A, the first Supergroup. I think it was right after Lamb of God. And I picked it up when they were doing Shot in the Dark. And it was Jakey Lee and who was singing that? Shot in the Dark. Lizzie Hale? No, that was the Ultimate Sin. Shot in the Dark was Dave Draymond. That's right. So David Draymond was singing Shot in the Dark. And I think that's when I picked it up, like the live stream. And I've been on TikTok a lot, but not like live streaming and not posting. I've been on just as a casual viewer. And I've always watched people's lives, and people play videos all the damn time. Like, the copyright thing is never, ever, 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 in my world, been a problem on TikTok. So I made it from Supergroup A, which was number 6 on the list, all the way down through 11, which is the end of Supergroup B. So I would have to say a good 2.5 hours of live streaming. And, thank you. If you've come over to the channel, thank you so much for coming over to the channel. If you've joined us here on Redbeard videos from that live stream, I appreciate you greatly. And I hope that you keep spreading the word, because I do this and I think I do it well. And I think I'm a fun guy. So just, follow the social medias. There's other places, or whatever, or come to my Patreon, Redbeard Videos, or just keep coming here, whatever, and leave comment and subscribe more. If you didn't subscribe already, subscribe harder. I don't know if you can do that, but let's do that. Anyway, I made it all the way to like when Jason Momoa, who was the MC for this whole thing, which was super dope, by the way. Really cool, Jason Momoa. I can't say that when I'm sober, let alone when I'm slightly edibly high. It was very cool to have him come on and just scream everybody's name every time he came out. It was pretty fucking cool.
I gotta make it quick because one of these guys, I absolutely must get into the pit with all you motherfuckers, so please.
Could you imagine being in a pit? Could you imagine being in a pit with Jason Momoa? I think he was in the pit for one of the bands. I feel like it was Gojira or maybe Pantera. I don't remember. But he was in the pit, and I saw a video of it. Like, it was shown on the live stream, so it wasn't like bullshit. It wasn't him just shit talking. He was like, I got to get off the stage and get in the pit with you guys. So it was pretty cool. But I found it interesting that all of a sudden, Supergroup B goes off. Jason Momoa. There, I did it. Introduces Pantera. And almost as like the Pantera entry music started, or their open began, all of a sudden I got copyright stricken by TikTok. And from what I understand, I've been looking, and it's been happening more often than not with the copyright strikes. So maybe it's the end of an era. Maybe TikTok is buckling under the Trump pressure of censorship, which has been going on here in this country. I won't get political because, like I said before, this is a celebration of metal. And that's what I mean by this. It is totally a celebration, because even though that pissed me off, and it was the only real corporate thing that I got from this entire event, because that was the one thing. It didn't feel corporate. I didn't have advertisements shoved down my throat. I mean, there were, the only ads that they had between bands or whatever were things about Huntington's disease, or about helping people, or about thanking Black Sabbath, or thanking Ozzy, or talking about bands and or artists, or the town of Birmingham. Things that were cool and interesting to watch. I didn't have to listen to Monster Energy drinks or anything like that. It did not have a corporate feel. It felt very, God damn, this is going to sound cliche or cheesy as fuck, but God, it felt metal. It felt really metal. Like, it felt truly metal. Like, we were all bonded together. None of this corporate horse shittery, until TikTok decided to take me and 200 people out of our community space. Because God forbid a corporate entity let 200 or so people enjoy something on someone else's dime. Look, I donated to pay for the pay-per-view, and I was going to do a live stream with my friends or people who couldn't make England, like me, or fans of these bands who just don't have the money. And let me tell you something, you corporate cocksucking motherfuckers, Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and fucking Amazon and TikTok. Look, I hope to make like a living doing this eventually. But if it has to come at the genuflection of any of you motherfuckers, I don't care, and I never will, okay? the thing with TikTok pissed me off so much that I just it frustrated me that I kind of missed I missed a lot of Pantera, and I even missed a fair amount of Tool, even though I had to sit down for Tool. Thankfully, I had all of Slayer to be pissed off, because fuck Slayer. Why they came back is beyond me. But I've gotten off the celebration thing, because the real beautiful thing that happened, Metallica came on. Metallica was fucking incredible. Lit the place on fire. The crowd was just totally amped. They loved Guns N' Roses too, but Metallica really just brought it.
Keep on singing friends.
I mean, they brought it, and they played some deep Black Sabbath cuts, deep cuts, Hole in the Sky, Johnny Blade. They played some deep ass Black Sabbath cuts, which I really appreciate. And a lot of, I have to give credit where it's due again. All these bands, these tribute bands, and even like the Gojiras, the Anthraxes, the Alice in Chainses, the bands that were on the stage, they all played, Lamb of God played Children of the Grave, but like Hailstorm played Perry Mason. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Perry Mason's like a new school Ozzy song, so that's pretty dope. Mastodon played Supernaut, again, still very regular, but they had 3 drummers on stage with them. They brought Danny Carey, Eloy Casagrande from Slipknot, and Mario Duplantier from Gojira out on stage with them for that, so that was pretty cool. And then with the supergroups, we had your regular songs. There was a mixture of whoever was on stage, like Sammy Hagar did Rock Candy, and Breaking the Law, they had KK Downing come on, Flying High again they did. Train Kept a Rolling and Walk This Way they did with Steven Tyler, A Whole Lot of Love, the whole thing. But keeping on the Black Sabbath tip, Pantera did a Planet Caravan, which is pretty cool, and Electric Funeral, which was the second time we heard that today. But see, Tool went and played Hand of Doom. All right, so like, so let's go deep cut there. Guns N' Roses, as we talked about, played Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, which is my personal favorite Black Sabbath song, Ozzy era Black Sabbath song. And they did it justice. I'll have to say they did it justice. But then Metallica comes out and does Johnny Blade and Hole in the Sky. Ozzy did an awesome set. Even Black Sabbath played the hits, War Pigs, NIB, Iron Man, Paranoid. No deep cuts from Black Sabbath. So other people had to cover the deep cuts, and they did a decent job. All in all, I watched the entirety of this whole thing. I never once got bored. Now, I have to admit I have a severe back injury and I'm kind of grounded, so I can't really go anywhere. But it's very rare that I sit around and just like do nothing for 6, 7, 8 consecutive hours. And I'm glad I did, because the beautiful moment, and even though I'll have to tell you, not a huge Ozzy Osbourne fan. I'm not. I respect him. I like a lot of his songs. I love like No More Tears. I love that whole album. I love kind of that whole era, No Rest for the Wicked. I like that too. I like the Zakk Wylde era more than all the other eras for the most part. But I love The Ultimate Sin and Shot in the Dark and songs on there, Bark at the Moon, Diary of a Madman. Obviously, I like a lot of Ozzy Osbourne, but I have a weird thing with fandom. I don't consider myself a fan of a lot of things. So, Ozzy Osbourne came out, and dude, they put him on they had him come out on a throne. And it was a throne that was obviously made for him. It had like a bat thing over his shoulder, and it was made of like black leather, and it was purple on the sides, and it was so classy and so cool. And God, for all the flaws of Ozzy Osbourne and all the times that he has made a complete ass of himself. And let's be real, like the Osbournes and biting the head off the bat and a lot of the 80s and a lot of the drugs. I mean, there's a lot of terrible stories about Ozzy Osbourne out there, okay? But ultimately, the guy was one of the pioneers of metal, okay? And he deserved what he got tonight. I mean, he was put on a throne. 70,000, I think. I don't know how many people were in that stadium. It looked like 70, 75,000. It looked like a Wembley-sized stadium. I know Wembley is closer to 100,000. It looked close to that, though. They chanted his name over and over and over and over again.
I can't fucking hear you. Are you ready? All of us! Let me see those hands again.
And they he really deserved it. And you could see it in his eyes. The guy was tearing up, and he was very touched and understood the moment. And he gave it his all. He sounded great. I mean, they did I Don't Know, and he sounded awesome. They opened with I Don't Know. And then Mr. Crowley's Suicide Solution, Mama, I'm Coming Home, almost brought me to tears. The whole audience was in tears.
I don't know what to say, man. I've been laid up for like fucking 6 years. And it's so, you've got no idea how I feel. Man, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Time to change, and time to strange. Here I come, but I ain't the same. Mama, I'm coming home.
But like you can tell he was touched. He was very touched by the moment. And to me, it's one of the most beautiful moments I think I've ever seen in music. And I'm thankful that I got to watch it and I got to sit and hang out. And I'm very thankful for the first half of the day that I got to meet new friends on TikTok and have people to talk to. And those of you who came over here and joined the channel, thank you so much. I so enjoy you. I so appreciate you. And I'm going to do more on TikTok. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream anything like that ever again. I might try. Who knows? I'm a rule breaker and I can give a fuck less. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully you stick with me. Hopefully you come to my pages, my social media pages and all that. I hear fireworks going off in my town, and I'm fading fast. So I'm going to go watch those, and I'll talk to you soon. So as always, thank you so much for being here with me, as I so much enjoy being here with you. And if this sober dick comes back in between, just fucking whatever, man. He's going to ask you to, like, subscribe and whatever. Just do it, all right? Just make him happy, please. Thanks. All right. Good talking to you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
It's a blast!